I want to thank everybody for coming out this morning. I have only a few short statements. I'm going to be very brief. So my name is Nathan Nelson. I was the former Director of Military Affairs for Congressman Matt Gaetz. Last Wednesday afternoon, two members of the FBI came to my house unannounced to question me about allegations surrounding Congressman Gaetz. They told me that members of the media reached out to them asserting that I had previous knowledge of Congressman Gaetz' involvement in illegal activities. They asserted that because of that knowledge, I resigned my position as the Director of Military Affairs. I'm here this morning to state that nothing could be further from the truth. Neither I nor any other member of Congressman Gaetz' staff had any knowledge of illegal activities. I've known the congressman for over 6 years when he was a state rep in the Florida House. I worked with him for 4 years as his Director of Military Affairs. Everybody here in Northwest Florida and the defense community knows that I had a planned departure. I left to continue supporting the military mission in a private capacity, helping to align the Department of Defense, defense industry, and academia for workforce development here in the Panhandle. This baseless claim against me leaves me further convinced that the allegations against Congressman Gaetz are likewise fabricated and merely an attempt to discredit a very vocal conservative. I welcome any other questions.
Well, what evidence have you seen so far, sir?
I'm not here to provide any degree of evidence in support of Congressman Gaetz, only to discredit these baseless allegations.
Well, that's the reason why I'm asking, sir. If you are to try to discredit any kind of investigation or anything like that, what of the investigation do you know that can lead you to, would lead you to discredit the investigation?
I don't have any specific knowledge on the investigation or any of the facts that are involved with the investigation.
Now, you left in November? His office?
End of October.
October, okay. All right. And why'd you leave then?
So, like I said, I had a planned departure. My involvement now is to continue supporting the military mission to help align our community to support the defense mission here in Northwest Florida.
Have you been in contact with the representative or with the FBI, excuse me, since that initial encounter?
The FBI hasn't reached back out to me since Wednesday.
Do you have any knowledge of why you are the best person to be speaking today? Did the communications department or Mr. Gaetz' office ask you to come today, or how were you selected to do this press conference today?
I reached out to the congressman's office to let them know that the FBI came to the house and to ask them if they had any other information regarding the media's claims and where any of that came from. Also to inform them that, hey, here's what I communicated regarding former staff members, my interactions with the staff that exist, just so that they have firsthand knowledge as to what I specifically said. It's clear that there are people out there that are making baseless allegations. I wanted to make sure that my words were direct from my mouth.
Can I ask you a question about your own background, sir? Are you now involved with a company that's doing some sort of defense-related work? And did, in fact, that company apply for and receive a grant from the Triumph Gulf Corporation?
We have not received a grant from the Triumph Corporation. We did an initial pre-application and found out that it was not appropriate for Triumph, which is fine. We're trying to do some startup here to bring a reutilized DoD supercomputer to Northwest Florida to help bolster the weapons development enterprise here.
In that context of that, did you have any conversations with Don Gaetz?
They reached out to you.
Just the FBI that came to the house.
Do you have in your either official capacity with Gaetz' office or personally, did you have any interaction with Joel Greenberg, the tax controller out of Seminole County?
I've never met Joel Greenberg, and my first knowledge of his name came from the media reports that came out last Tuesday. So that was my first.
So if I can go back, I just want to make sure you applied, but then you determined that you're not, because I'm just asking about this because Triumph Corporation is, the chairman is Don Gaetz, who is Matt Gaetz' father. So I
Yeah,
just wondered.
absolutely.
So-
Yeah, we weren't suited for that grant, so
Okay.
yeah, it wasn't supported. Yes, ma'am.
The information for today's press conference went out on the official letterhead of Congressman Gaetz, and you are not a current aide, you're a former aide. Can you explain why that would go out under his official letterhead for this press conference?
You know, I remain loosely affiliated with Congressman Gaetz' office as a military advisor, so in an unpaid capacity. And, you know, obviously, like I stated, I reached back out to Congressman Gaetz' office so that they knew specifically what I told the FBI and to ask them if they had any other information regarding the allegations that named me specifically.
Have you had the opportunity recently to speak to Congressman Gaetz himself since the allegations?
You know, I haven't had an opportunity to speak to Congressman Gaetz in several months.
So, sir, you're offering yourself as a character witness on behalf of Congressman Gaetz, right?
For what it's worth.
Okay, so knowing everything that you've read about the investigation and so forth, I mean, you say they're baseless.
I'm saying the allegations that that named me were baseless, and likewise, that kind of reflects on the allegations against Congressman Gaetz.
Well, I guess I'm asking whether or not you think the allegations against the congressman is baseless.
That's
directly.
exactly what I just said. Yes.
Okay.
All right, last question. Right here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I've talked to several people, a lot of people saying at this point these are just allegations, but some people I spoke to say even if this isn't a criminal matter, that these alleged relationships, even if not illegal, speaks to poor character on Matt Gaetz and that he should not be representing our district. What's your reaction to that?
You know, I think that Congressman Gaetz has been a very, very vocal advocate for Northwest Florida. In the 4 years that he's been in office, a little over 4 years, he's been a powerhouse in D.C., advocating for the interests of Northwest Florida. I think the degree of attention that he's brought to issues concerning Floridians is very, very important. And I think he is a strong congressman, and I believe any allegations of him being involved in illegal activity are baseless. I think he spent the last 4 years drawing a tremendous amount of spotlight on himself and his activities, and I don't think that he would likewise be conducting anything illegal.
Sir, what kind of negotiations do you know about between him and
Paid consultant for him?
No, ma'am.
So it's just like a friendly, can you describe for us the relationship that you currently have as a former director with him?
Just as a as-needed advisor, if he chooses to reach out to me.
Unpaid.
That's correct.
Sir, what kind of negotiations
Thank you all
do you
so
know
much. I
of
appreciate it.
that's happening between Mr. Gaetz and investigators right now?